World-famous UFC fighter Conor McGregor has announced this week that he's going to stand for the presidency of the Republic of Ireland.
Good morning, citizens of Ireland. I'm here today outside the office of the Taoiseach and Taoiseach,
The what?
where we are over 200 days into the formation of current government. In these times, this government has cost us our peace of mind, our security, our hope for the future, and the general well-being of Irish citizens nationwide has decreased dramatically.
Now, Conor's saying all the right things here, and I agree with what he's saying. He's talking about trying to make Ireland better, trying to take Ireland back to how he remembers it. Now, that's the same across the United Kingdom, across Europe and the West, where we're looking around at our countries and we're like, I don't even recognize this place anymore. We feel like second-class citizens in our own homeland. Elected officials are not being held to account. That needs to change.
But as your head of state, you empower me to enter these buildings on your behalf. A president face to face with government officials with only one priority: to ensure that the country our founding fathers gave their life for is strictly adhered to on behalf of its citizens. Ireland, under my tenure, the will of the people will be heard. Ireland, under my tenure, we will return important articles of our constitution prior, and thus again aligning with Padraig Pearse's proclamation, in that we declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies, to be sovereign and indefeasible Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood. Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom.
So I'm on board with what Conor's saying at the moment. I am sure he's getting a lot of support for it. Now, the very important thing he said at the end is about freedom. It's about bringing freedom back. When we look around, we don't have freedom of speech. You're in a situation where people are put in prison for saying things on social media. People are having the police and their jackboots kicking on their door for what they believe and what they vocalize on social media. That's not normal, and that needs to change. So I'm with Conor on that. But I have to say, at this point, these are just words. Now, it's very, very easy to say something when you're looking for people to vote for you. If I apply that to the United Kingdom, look at reform. Nigel Farage wants everyone to vote for him. So he's telling people what they want to hear. Things are going to change. Things are going to get better. Now, that's really easy when you're in front of the cameras and you're trying to get elected. But what about when you're at the coalface? So that's why I judge people on how they acted during COVID. Now, for Nigel Farage, the head of the Reform Party, he was outside banging his pots and pans like a prat at 8 p.m. He called for war criminal and spawn of Satan, Tony Blair, to be vaccine czar. Now, the guy that started the Reform Party, that is now an active MP of the Reform Party, Richard Tice, he came out and said that he didn't believe that NHS staff should keep their jobs if they refused to be vaccinated. So this is how they acted when they were in front of the coalface, when we were really up against it and we were having our freedoms taken off us. Now, while it's socially acceptable to have that narrative against the COVID vaccine and against the lockdowns, they're saying it. So I'm going to judge Conor on where he was when it mattered.
I want to say that while we are all currently debating a full lockdown, I feel that we must. Any time spent debating this is needless time from the clock. I know a good tough fight when I see one, and we have one on our hands now. I want to call upon my people, the great people of Ireland. This fight needs us all. We are all in the red corner together, awaiting the bell. So let's gather together and ring the bell ourselves, including the people of the rest of the world. True lockdown must begin, and it must begin now. A lockdown together, a lockdown united. We must close our airports. We must close all non-essential business.
There's no such thing as non-essential business, mate. If your business keeps your family alive and pays your mortgage, feeds the bellies of your children, it's not unessential, I'm afraid, Conor. So here we go. When Conor's at the coalface, he's calling for massive lockdowns across Ireland and indeed across the world. That's quite telling.
We must cut all non-essential travel. Commissioner Harris and Vice Admiral Mellett, we must prepare and deploy our units to all and any known built-up areas across our country now.
Hang on a minute, so he's not just calling for lockdown, he's not just calling for non-essential businesses to be closed and therefore livelihoods destroyed, he's not just calling for the airports to be closed, so that massive crushing of freedom so you can't go where you want to go when you want to go there, he wants the army deployed.
President Higgins, you must give these great men and women the power to enforce this task if necessary.
If necessary. So if people stand up to your army, Conor McGregor, if people stand up and say, no, I ain't locking down, no, I'm not closing my business, no, I'm not going to do as I'm told by this fascist state, then you want the army set on them.
It is time for a full lockdown, and we are ready. Powers that be, I am calling to you all. The fate of our great island depends on it. This is my proposal, and I pray that we can make this happen.
So this guy is not only not fighting against the powers that be, he's begging, he's praying to the powers that be to close everyone down and destroy freedoms. This is not the same Conor McGregor, is it?
We are not adhering to social distancing, at least not to the extent required to halt exponential growth. A lockdown will facilitate this. It will reduce transmissions, it will take the pressure off of our frontline staff, and it will allow us to identify all of our cases. These methods are stringent but necessary and have worked in China and Hong Kong.
Do you know what else is good in China, Conor? Social credit system. You'd be well on board with that. All Conor's doing there is he's using his platform to sit down and parrot all the same shite that was used on the mainstream media, all the same shite that was coming out of Davos and the World Economic Forum, all the same shite that was being spoused by the likes of Fauci. This guy's not alternative.
Lockdown, united, together we stand. God bless us all.
God help us all. As I said earlier, my test is how did you behave, what were you like when we were at the coalface, when our freedoms were being stripped away? He's failed the test, man.